Hi everyone, here's a demo of the current status of our FarmOS John Deere integration. I'm in a brand new FarmOS instance here. There's no assets, no logs. So the first step with connecting to John Deere is to come into the setup page, go to the setup menu, John Deere, and here I need to connect my FarmOS instance with my John Deere account. So I can click on connect. It's going to bring me over to John Deere. I'm going to get my password and log in. And you can see it has connected my account, and now it's asking me to choose which of the John Deere organizations I'm affiliated with to use for this connection. I'll choose my own testing organization, click connect, and now you'll see I've connected with John Deere, but I've still not actually granted my FarmOS account specific access to the John Deere organization. This is a second step that John Deere requires. So I can click on add connection, and again it'll bring me back into John Deere, and here you can see it's asking to connect with the FarmOS support team, and it explains what this means. Basically it's allowing FarmOS to have API access to this organization's data. I'm going to choose my organization again and click save. Now back in FarmOS, you can see it has successfully connected to the John Deere organization that I'm using. So now I'm able to start importing data from John Deere. I can go back to the import tab, and the first thing I'm going to do is go over to my equipment and refresh. What this is going to do is request all the machines that I have created in John Deere, and I can quickly select all and import these into FarmOS. Now if I come over to my assets and equipment, you'll see I now have those three tractors and combines created within FarmOS. Back on the import page, I can then go over to land, and let's do a refresh. So here it has found there's 14 land or fields that I have created in John Deere, and I'm going to select a few of these. These include test data that John Deere provides, and I will import them. What this is doing is requesting the data associated with each of those fields from John Deere and creating them as land assets in FarmOS. So now these have been created right here, and yeah, let's see. I'm actually going to go import a couple more. The test data that John Deere has does not actually include geometries, so I created some of my own fields that include these geometries, and you can see now on this page and back on the FarmOS dashboard we have a map that's actually working with our fields. The last step are field operations. So now that I have imported both the equipment and land from John Deere, on the field operations page we'll start to see the different actual field operations show up that are associated with these fields and equipment. So typically this is where you're going to have the most data, because every time you go out and perform an application, a harvest, or a tillage event, you'll get a field operation. And this is really the end goal of what we want to be importing into FarmOS. So I'll go ahead and select a bunch and click on import. Importing field operations can take a bit longer because for each operation we're doing multiple API requests to get all the data associated with it. now that that is done, I can show you what this looks like. So for logs, we've now created a bunch of input logs. I guess all the ones I selected were input. You can see the timestamp, a log name, and the location are all synced in. If I click on an individual log, you can see we're also getting a bunch of quantities that were coming out of the piece of equipment or other data sources that might be connected to implements. And things like the total area and average speed, as well as the distinction between the result and as a distinction between the result and the target for all of these values. And here you can see this is their demo data, so they were doing an application in the city, maybe? Don't think that's actually correct, but you can see it includes the tractor path with there as well. Let me see if I can import actually a harvest and a tillage as well. Go over to my logs. I should be able to open up harvest and activity logs to view these. So here's a harvest example. You can see there's a bit more custom geometries there. One of the next steps we want to do is import the actual shape files that are associated with each of these operations. And then here's a tillage event with an average depth that was included. One last thing to show you, these pages we're working on a way to automatically refresh them with John Deere, but for now, if you come in and click on refresh, it'll make that request to see if there's any new data in John Deere. So to demonstrate that, if I go to John Deere, I'll quickly try and create a new equipment item. See if we can find something. Perfect. The Model 30 Combine. We'll create this. This has been added, and if I go back over to my equipment page and click on refresh, now this is showing up here. I can import it, and now I'll be able to start importing other field operations associated with that equipment. At any point, we also include under the status page a couple buttons to reset this, so you could remove that integration from FarmOS. Or also, this Manage Connections button will bring you back into John Deere, where you could revoke that access for FarmOS to request the John Deere organization's data.